Welcome to the Back 9 Six-Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 140 of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Tonight we're going to do a little more draft recap stuff, some Zurich Classic recap, talk a little Ryder Cup, then head to the patio. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. We got nice sleeping weather happening outside right now.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to storm the rest of the night. I will tell you this. I sleep the best when it's storming outside.
It's like the perfect amount of rain and that kind of low rumbly thunder.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like a midsummer storm right now.
Yeah, that's probably a really good way to put it. I love sleeping through storms.
Yeah.
A midday summer storm. I'm not a napper, but I would nap if it was storming outside for sure.
Yeah, we got the windows open, so you got the nice cool air coming in too. Just hear it a little bit more.
I know, because it's nice. 65 out right now. It's perfect.
Yeah, I went out there.
I don't know if my allergies could literally take having the windows open. So,
we needed this rain for that purpose. The pollen is absurd right now.
Yeah, it's what's crazy is how quickly we just go through huge swings around here, right? Mm-hmm. And the snow we had this winter is well documented, right? We had a lot of rain to melt that snow. And then within a 2.5 month span, we were technically in a drought. a pretty hefty drought, actually.
Yeah.
My ground outside was cracking. I'm dude, this doesn't normally happen until July or August. And here we are in April and it's legit drought weather. So
yeah.
But I think we're getting a fix tonight. I think it's supposed to rain 2 or 3 inches, which is crazy. It's so dry. A lot of it's just going to run off. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we the kids tonight, man, we're just in one of those moods, get the hellion mode. And I was able to grill between showers out there, and after I went out to close it up or whatever, I just stood there under our awning and just it was I needed a cigarette, man. It was just one of those moments I was oh, the serenity of the of the rain. Rip. And I was just oh man, this is good. Yeah.
Especially for a Monday too. Man, today was the most Mondays of all Mondays.
I'm glad. I think it's going around. I can tell you that much.
Just real quick, and we can move on. But have you seen the video of the guy who talks about weeks being a 7-game series? And you just got to win 4. You just got to win 4, And he goes, so you just assume Friday and Saturdays are wins. You just got to find 2 more wins, right? Monday's definitely a loss. Sunday's probably a loss unless you get a Sunday fun day situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really just need those 2 of the 3 days in the middle of the week to consider it a win.
The tough thing is when you get the surprise Monday or Tuesday win, and then you're the team going on the road for game 4, and you're all right, we can let Wednesday slide. Yeah, we can let Wednesday slide, and then all of a sudden you lose 2 in a row, and then you're scrambling. So
I thought that video is so great. It's it's a very good way to put it. Of just got to win a week. You just got to win 4 days. You don't have to win all 7.
Yeah, I'm about to just start every week, put it on a post-it note, just have my check boxes of the day, whether I won the days or not, and we'll just see where we.
I think I'm going to start doing that. I definitely lost today. There's no question.
Oh, same. There's a lot of L's going around today.
Yeah. But hey, we still got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Crucial days in the winning the week.
Crucial. And then I've got the half marathon on Sunday, so could go either way.
That would be an L for me, but maybe it's a win for you.
As long as I make it standing out alive to the after party, it'll be considered a win. So all right. Thank you all for watching, listening, however you're taking this in. Subscribe, rate, review the show. Follow us on social media at Back9Sixpack. The draft happened. I didn't get to catch much of it, but
I'll tell you, and you might have felt the same way. If it felt boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. And maybe it's just because our teams didn't have any picks on Thursday. So the excitement of getting a top tier guy was just not there. I think maybe that was part of it. Honestly, I don't think, based on initial reports, I don't think the Pittsburgh draft did as well as the Green Bay one from a fan standpoint. It's kind of what it's looking like. I saw a lot of restaurants posting like, they were promised all this like extra business and it just wasn't materializing much.
Interesting.
What's your thoughts on that? Like if that is the case?
My guess is when you get to a Pittsburgh, it's probably a lot of local people.
Yeah.
Versus like some of the bigger cities. And I would even consider Green Bay in this, where it's kind of like a football mecca. Like you're going to get fans from a lot of different places.
Yeah.
When you got a bunch of Pittsburgh people walking down the street to go to the draft, like they're not going to go out of their way to go to the restaurants they always go to and stuff like that. So that would be my take on it. I mean, the Pittsburgh fans, if you're watching it all on Thursday night, they made their pick, like pick 21 or whatever. The whole place just emptied out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is going to be a good trial and error for the NFL of like what works, what doesn't kind of thing. I think your places like Green Bay obviously work, right? Because someone that's like not in the NFC North might be like, man, like haven't been able to catch my team there, but I really been wanting to go there. Draft would be a really cool time to go because it's not super cold and I can go up there and kind of enjoy, nicer weather. I think a Chicago one would probably kill it just because it's Chicago. The Bears are kind of a big brand. They're obviously playing a lot better on the football field. You could even say something like, what other stadium? Because like I'm thinking like baseball. It's like if you were to do something like this for baseball, right? Like a Fenway would kill it. Wrigley would kill it. Like some of these older stadiums, probably a Yankee Stadium. But like if you had like to me, the equivalent would be like having it at Great American Ballpark. Probably wouldn't hit the same as like having it at like Wrigley Field or Fenway or whatever. So
yeah, so like I'm looking back at old past drafts. Like obviously the really old ones, they kind of moved around a little bit, but they had a really, really strong run. Obviously being in New York from like the 60s all the way to the 2000s. And it bounced around. They did Madison Square Garden. They did a few hotels. Then it settled into Radio City Music Hall for a bit. But they actually did Chicago in both 2015 and 16.
Oh, you know what? They did, but I don't think they did like the stadium thing that they're doing right now. This is relatively new.
True. These were Auditorium Theater in Grant Park. I think that's like when you're walking around Chicago by the stadium, there's that big amphitheater. I think that's where, so they did it next to Soldier Field. But then like they went to Philly after that. That wasn't in the link or whatever. But then they did hit, they went to AT&T Stadium in Dallas or Arlington, whatever. Then they hit Nashville. They did the whole Broadway strip. That one was probably pretty popular. They had a virtual one for the COVID year. But then it went Cleveland. They did Vegas in 22, I guess.
You know what's funny is the Cleveland one, maybe it was because they did the first year of the whole stadium thing, kind of, or relatively new to the stadium thing. It was pretty good. And I'll be honest with you, like, I don't know a ton. Like, Pittsburgh Steelers fans are annoying, but, like, it's kind of crazy because they're actually, like, a good sports town, like, fan-wise. Like, they're very, like, committed to their teams.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, like, there's hardly any city that rivals Cleveland from a purity fan standpoint. And maybe I think Buffalo. That's probably why that one did really well. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Buffalo and maybe Boston, but Boston's got its own stuff. But I think Buffalo and Cleveland are pretty
like
close
small
to one
markets.
Another.
Smaller markets. Yep.
Yeah, and then after that they did, like I said, Vegas, and they went Kansas City, Detroit, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. Next year is DC.
Which, I don't know.
That one would be probably pretty like meh. There'd be a lot of people there, I think, probably, and different fans, but I think it'll feel flat just by the nature of it. The thing that I'm starting the draft, like, there's a few things. One, it like everything happens behind the broadcast, so like you already know stuff if you're online at all, like before it happens on TV. They spend a lot, and I mean maybe rightfully so. They spend a lot of time like storytelling with guys, which is fine, but it like slows things down and it feels kind of just like repetitive. And then, what else was I going to say? I totally lost my train of thought. I don't know. I lost it.
No, I think I know. Like, I agree.
Oh, I remember. I remember now. They have so many of these like special presenter people come out, and it's like some of them you need like the Oscars music going. Like, buddy, like wrap it up. Mark Rippon gave like an absolute soliloquy up there. He had the pick, so I happened to flip it on. The Commanders had the pick before the Bengals in the third round, so I was like, oh, I'll just see who the Bengals pick here while I'm messing around. I swear to God, he was up there for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, they need the Dave Chappelle wrap it up button. You know, like start playing the music.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we move on to our teams, I don't think there were too many surprises. There was a lot of like jockeying for spots kind of trades that happened.
Yeah.
Probably the most notable fall was Bain falling to Tampa at 15.
Just a travesty, to be honest with you. The Buccaneers got just absolutely gifted on that. I mean, I know. Hell, I'll tell you what, you know, I know they traded up for it, but like the Cowboys getting Downs at 11 is just a freaking steal. It's a steal. That guy probably 3 months ago was like not going to make it out of the top 5, and you get him at 11. That feels like a rare Dallas Cowboys win. Specifically that he's on the defensive side of the ball, because they need a lot. They needed more help on that side of the ball than the Bengals did.
When it's like, I know people don't like to pay or draft safeties like at a premium spot, but if you get like that kind of safety, it can like change your defense.
Yeah, tell that to the Steelers back in the early 2000s when they had Troy Polamalu. Like, tell me if they didn't think that was a premium position.
Yeah, Ed Reed, and like to a lesser extent, but like the Bengals have had a broken defense since they let Jesse Bates walk. So like it happens.
Well, I think of like if you're talking Green Bay, like dude, Charles Woodson. Like they had Charles. I would give my left arm and my right arm to have someone on the backside of my defense like a Charles Woodson again. So
yeah, and it's guys that can impact the game up the middle and on the perimeter to help your corners out too. So I have to ask you this because you're someone that's been in this position as a fan twice, actually. The Rams taking Ty Simpson at 13.
Well, I actually didn't hate it. It feels like Stafford's closer to retirement than Rodgers was when they took Love.
Yeah.
You know, I think Rodgers was more like he's closer to a contract being done and the team maybe not wanting to continue with him.
Sure.
But I think with Stafford, I would be shocked if Stafford played after this year. Like if this feels like his last year. I could be wrong about that. Look, it just gets to a point where it's like, I mean, he's still really good, but it's, you know, you have to plan for the future, right? Like, I think, especially the Rams, I feel like it's a team that's kind of been down this track a little bit where they haven't like kind of prepared to get rid of somebody. Like I think they got really lucky with the Jared Goff trade. I think it was, I actually like the pick. I'm not as high on Ty Simpson as other people are. Mm-hmm. I think he's just like one of those guys that's like, he has so many measurables. It's like kind of hard to pass him up. You know what I mean? But I don't hate it. I didn't hate it when they took him because you just have to assume even if this year's not the last year, the following, I mean, 2 years from now, Matthew Stafford's going to be like, what, 44 years old? Like, I think he's 42 right now, correct?
I don't think he's 42.
He's in his 40s.
Is he really?
I could be 100. I'm pretty sure he's in his 40s.
I think maybe he's 38, man.
Oh God. Okay. But even then, okay, that still same thing. 2 years from now, he's gonna be 40 years old.
Right.
And if we know anything, like unlike Tom Brady, every other quarterback, like it just gets to a point, and it's like a very steep drop off. Right.
It definitely is. Yeah.
I remember Peyton Manning. It was like the one year he's like fighting for an MVP, and like literally the next year could barely throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty quick. So
I think the only thing with Stafford is like if he is able to be protected, he's got such arm talent. It's kind of like Flacco. Flacco's in his 40s, but like the dude can just spin it. So like,
yeah, that's true. I mean,
but I don't know. I get the vision of it for sure. As a fan, I would hate it because to me, it's like, all right, you've just loaded up. Went to the NFC Championship last year. Your quarterback won the MVP. You are going all in, getting these corners and making these trades. Like, just draft another good first rounder.
Yeah.
And then if he retires after next year, okay, then we're in quarterback hell.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Ty Simpson, they took him with what pick was that?
I think it was 13.
That's what I thought. It was pretty high.
And that's the thing too. Like Love and like especially Rodgers could have been first overall.
Yeah.
Like these are top 10 potential picks, and then Simpson was like, okay, maybe someone will trade back into the first round and get him for the 5th year, but it wasn't like he was like a top 10 grade.
There was one talking head that said he should go first overall, but that was one guy. So
that was a Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah,
that was a pretty funny moment though that he got. When the pick was made,
it just. He had to be paid by somebody, like, or they had the same agent or something where it's like, dude, I need you to go on First Take and just like in every show you go on, just blow it up. Like
he got the reverse. It was the reverse Mel Kiper with Shadur last year.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I like it. And maybe they know something we don't. Like maybe this is Stafford's last year. Stafford's friends are all retiring. He's noted friends with Clayton Kershaw, and he's gone. So I don't know. We'll see. I agree with you though, where it's like you're doing one thing in free agency and you're kind of doing another in the draft. It kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I just always as a fan, because I'm so championship starved, like just get me the freaking championship. Do whatever you can to maximize this 1 year that you feel like is your chance, and then outside of that, like. We'll worry about the future problems when they come,
Yep, I agree with you.
All right, well, we'll start with your Packers. We started with the Bengals last week. So what'd you like? What'd you not like? How do you feel overall?
Let's start with the one that I'm most intrigued about.
Okay.
And it's probably not going to be the one you think it is.
Okay.
Our last pick in round 6. Look, I want Brandon McManus nowhere near my football team next year.
What a name for this guy, by the way, too.
Yeah, Trey Smack.
Smack.
The first time he makes a field goal in the 4th quarter, I'm pulling the trigger on a jersey for sure. Just so everybody knows, I am a noted like non-top tier, other than Aaron Rodgers, like non-top tier jersey getter. Like I like my Tucker Crafts. Yeah. I've got a couple Bengals jerseys with just like obscure names on the back. Like I like the non like mainstream names.
Yeah.
Now Tucker Craft's getting a little too mainstream. I might not be able to wear that anymore, but that's where the Trey Smack jersey is going to come in.
Yeah.
That's the one most intriguing because our kicking has just been horrendous. Kind of seems like an overhaul of the special teams. They signed Sky Moore. Now we're drafting a kicker. We can only here's my thing. The special teams can't get any worse. There's hardly any movement down. There's only up from where we're at. So, right. But I think no surprises, right? Like one offensive lineman, rest defensive guys. They got a defensive tackle. Obviously, Kenny Clark went to the Cowboys last year in the Parsons trade.
Yeah.
Can never go too light on DB. That was their first pick in the 2nd round. So yep. I don't think any surprises. I do like the Missouri. I've watched enough Missouri football this year. I do like McClellan.
Yeah.
He I'm excited about that pick.
Nice. Yeah, it feels like they addressed the positions they had to. You just got to hope a couple of them are some good hits, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel similarly about the Bengals. They pretty much everywhere I read and looked, a lot of like B plus grades. So like kind of your average draft. Feels like another one where, it's funny because they take, their first pick in the 2nd round is Cassius Howe, who played last year at 2 years ago at A&M with Shamar Stewart.
I was like pretty much just running that defensive line back.
Yeah.
But in Bengals uniforms.
The interesting thing is that Shamar had all the measurables and like didn't have the numbers. Cassius Howe has the opposite. He had the numbers, but didn't have the measurables. So it's like that's again, where I talk about, like, I don't know what they're doing all the time because they get caught between, like, are we taking the RAS score guy or are we taking the guy that produced? And that's an example of that. But then they turn around and they draft Cario Davis from Washington. He's a 6'4" corner, ran a 4.4, and he's got like 34-inch arms. So big rangy corner. Hopefully they can get him out on the edge. If he develops nicely, could be a good tandem with DJ Turner. Then they go and they make like the most Bengal pick ever. They take Colby Young from Georgia as wide receiver, big ass wide receiver. He kind of looks like T. Higgins when you watch him play. But
he's
of course,
what, 6'5" or something like that. He's pretty tall.
He's a big guy. Let's see if I got his numbers here or not. No, I don't have his size, but yeah, he's a big dude. Plays on the outside though, so like again, kind of like one character questions around him. Everybody at Georgia vouched for him, but that's that word is.
Buddy, they got speeding problems down there in cars. Like
they got plenty of problems.
They don't do a lot of like. When they're in a car, it's a problem. Like, you don't want to be anywhere near a Georgia Bulldog in a car. Like,
yeah, so I'm a little gun shy coming off the whole Jermaine Burton saga, but and the other problem again is, we need like a slot guy. Like Yoshivas is, not my favorite player, and also his contract comes up this year, so it's like probably not going to re-sign him. So I don't know. Could be. We'll see what he does if he develops at all. Kind of weird to take an outside guy though. And then outside of that, like they didn't address linebacker. It makes me a little nervous because that means they're running it back with Carter and Knight, who were the lowest two graded linebackers in the league last year. But I guess the hope there is like, okay, they've majorly addressed defensive line. They brought in a legitimate safety in free agency. You just got to hope that they develop a little bit and they're able to play off of those, stars around them.
Well, so part of me thinks that, the additions along the line, maybe they think like, okay, if they don't have to focus so much on the run game, they can kind of freeze them up, right? Like, look, you got some dudes up front now that are going to kind of take up some blockers. Yeah. So they don't have to like be crazy good. You know what I mean? I guess maybe that's their thinking behind it.
I think so for sure. Yeah.
Like Dexter Lawrence is going to be, he's probably going to make those dudes at least average, just because they're not going to have to do as much, or they're not going to be asked to do as much.
Yeah. The other thing too is like they got a couple guys like Cassius Howe's a good example where in Al Golden's scheme, they had, Carter and Knight were playing out of position a lot, and it's just not stuff they can do. So like, it's going to be on Golden to actually put the right guys in the right spots this year. Last year, you have some excuses. Your first year, you're dealing with limited, whoever's there kind of stuff.
They were dealing with a loft issue.
Yes. And
lack of fucking talent.
Now it's like, all right, you can get them out of those outside positions, let them play in the middle, and, hopefully that helps them. But we'll see. Overall, I'm fairly encouraged by the combo of the offseason moves and the draft. Like, it feels like they got a lot better. It's hard to buy into like social media stuff, but there's definitely a different energy to the stuff you see coming out of the Bengals locker room right now. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. I don't think they're going to be an elite defense by any means, but like literally just like you said before with the special teams of the Packers, like they can't get worse. So
yeah, it's like, there's only some of the reading I did about the Bengals, like it felt like it's like, all right, they might have reached for Takario Davis, but like they got some steals on other picks. So that's why I was like, when you said B-, I'm like, yeah, that probably checks out for most of the stuff that I've, without looking at grades, most of the stuff it's like, this guy was projected here. They got it, I think it was the Auburn center. It was like, he was projected at like 90s, 80 something pick, right? And they got him at 128. I think it might have been the other offensive lineman, the guy from Duke. It was like he was projected at like 120, and they got him at 189. So
yeah, that's our PFF stuff. He was actually the highest graded player that they got in the draft. But that's
really?
Yeah, but that's it's relative to your position. So, but yeah, that's the one that could be some good developmental talent along the line, like you just said, like some good values in those players, which they need. They need some depth, and they've got Karras is a good player. He's getting a little older. Orlando Brown's locked up for a couple of years, and Mims is young player developing, but you can never, as we've learned in Cincinnati, you can never have too many linemen. So
I honestly like when you read and you're like, I want my team's draft to be somewhere between like B+ and C-.
Yeah, you never want to feel
like
the team
like way down on it, right? Like you don't want to be like F, right?
Yeah.
But like I don't want any of these talking heads giving me an A. Like that would make me nervous just as much. Like, oh God, like some of these dudes are going to be busts, right? I think it's funny. I looked at some of the grades for the Packers, and like most of them were grading out between C and B+ in there. I think it's almost like it feels hard to get an A, like even mentally when you don't have a first pick. You know what I mean? But
right. Yeah, you're. Let me just check what we got. You guys, you had a B.
Yeah,
Now
which
I will say,
I'm good with that. Like,
yes.
I'm way good with that. Like,
Just give me a good stay. I didn't. You never want to win free agency either, right? Like, you don't want to be that team that's like got that. Like the Panthers got an A+, and I'm like, and the Browns got an A+. I'm like, okay, congratulations. We'll see when they start playing in September.
That proves my point exactly, right?
Yeah.
That 100% proves my point.
That's my thoughts. All right. Anything else on the draft?
No. Schedule comes out. May 15th?
Yeah, I think it's mid-May.
Yeah. So
that'll be fun to see how that all shakes out.
It's crazy how the NFL just keeps getting away with it. It's like every month there's something. So
yeah, they followed the NBA model. It used to be NBA was the king of that, where well, even their off-season stuff was kind of like the baseball used to be that way too, the hot stove and all that. Like you know,
oh yeah,
that's lost a little bit of luster too. So, all right, on to the Zurich Classic. I saw one shot of this tournament, and it was the Matt Fitzpatrick bunker shot. And I think that's probably all I needed to see. What a shot to win.
Well, I think I said it. I sent it to you, a couple of you guys, and one of the group chats were in. I'm like, it's an unbelievable shot to win a PGA Tour tournament, right? It's when you put it behind of like he's hitting that shot to get his brother a PGA Tour card. I think it's a wildly unbelievable shot.
Yeah,
to hit.
Just an insane. It's already hard enough to win on tour, but when you put that added layer of pressure in there, it's got to be.
Yeah, and think about it. Like, think about if he hits it to 10 feet. Now he's giving his brother like a 10-footer for his own card. It's like he just left it all out there and just like stuck it to 8 inches or 10 inches or whatever it ended up being. Yeah. Just a crazy good shot in the situation they were in.
Yeah. So they win by 1 over the Norwegians, Christopher Wrighton and Chris Ventura. It's Matt's 3rd win this year. And then, of course, you just mentioned Alex has a 2-year PGA Tour exemption, and he's into the signature events and the PGA Championship.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. They shot 57 in best ball on Saturday, which was a wild scorecard to look at.
Yeah.
They had a 4-shot lead on Sunday, but then they shot 71 in alt shot. They needed that final birdie to win because they doubled 12 and bogeyed 14 on the way in. So
yeah, I watched like their last 5 holes. It was shaky coming down the stretch. Like even, I think it was like 15. Alex hits his shot on the top side of the bunker. Matt hits it like kind of long and left of the green. Alex hits kind of like a chunky-ish like chip shot up there to like 10 feet, and it's like Matt steps up and drains it. I thought, I was like, man, if they miss this, like it could go down the hill pretty fast.
Yeah.
But he made it, and then they kind of just drug it into 18 where it was they had a par 5 coming up and ended up birdieing. But Chris Ventura and them, they eagled 18 to get the 30 too. They were 28 under going into that hole. So that was pretty crazy. It was like kind of at the time you're like, yeah, okay, that might be good for like a second or a third when they got to 30, and then the Fitzpatrick brothers just kind of started. They were wheeling it. They were dragging a dead body into the finish for sure.
Yeah, that's the problem when you go that low the day before. I mean, and then you're going to a different format too. Yeah. It's like, it's almost guaranteed that you're not gonna play that well or even half as good. For this tournament, I don't know if it's going to hold up with the restructuring that's going to happen here. I wish they would do alt shot every day.
I kind of agree with that, honestly. And you know what? There were some angry people about Alex Fitzpatrick getting his card off of this, right?
Yeah.
Just for the record, I am not one of those people. I think we've been so stripped of everything kind of cooling off that having a guy get his tour card because his brother hits a 30-yard bunker shot to 8 inches, I don't think there's really anything cooler than that based on what we have kind of right now in general. But like people were like, it needs to be all best ball if you're going to have a tour card on the line. It's like, here's the problem. In America, that's all we know, right? Is just like best ball or like stroke play. You go overseas, like, there's guys playing on Sunday mornings that are out there playing alt shot.
Yeah.
Like, think about that for a second. Like,
they're playing match play, they're doing alt shot, they're doing shambles, they're doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So we are broken in America. Like, other places play all kinds of different golf, which includes a lot of alternate shot.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that. I think that would be fantastic television.
The other thing with Alex Fitzpatrick is, like, it's not like, I'll use this as an example. Sorry to dump on him, but, like, this isn't like if Brooks won it with Chase and he drug him to the tour.
Yeah.
Alex is in the top 10 in the DP World Tour, has won over there. Those guys get their tour card at the end of the season if he stays there anyway. So, like,
and that was kind of that was going to be my next point. It was like, he's in the running to get a tour card anyway. So, and it's like how he's played so far this year, probably going to get it. You know, it just kind of sped that timeline up essentially. I mean, it just sped it up by like 6 months.
Yeah, and the added bonus of getting into the signature event.
Yeah, that helps.
That's huge.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have much else on Zurich. Do you have anything? Our boys let us down.
Yeah, they played well. I mean, they made the cut. So I mean,
I think they had a top 20 maybe. If I look,
yeah, and they birdied 3 out of their last 5 holes on Friday to make the cut. Like, they were outside the cut line. So. And did that in alt shot, which is just, it's like, it was like, I watched a couple of those holes, and it was like the perfect example of just being like young and dumb and like having no idea.
Yeah.
Like, they just like, oh, we need the birdie 3 of the last 5. Okay. Dink, dink, dink. And then they made it. So they played well, just not well enough. But I hope they don't do away with this event. Although I didn't get to watch as much as I would have liked. I watched a little on Thursday, like on ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
And then watched like the last 6 holes on Sunday. But we need stuff like this to break it up. Like, there's just too many regular tournaments that just get forgotten about. At least this makes it talked about, and where it's like a team event. So,
yeah, I wish there was more room in pro golf for different formats, because like you really only get that now at the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup. And this is like, I like this week because it's one where it's like, if I get to watch a lot, sick. Like, I'm excited to watch it. If I don't, it feels like one you can skip too. So it's like, it's just like a good thing that exists in professional golf.
Yeah.
So
you know what would be kind of awesome is if they made it a pro scratch, like a scratch amateur.
Would be fun.
And here's the thought process behind this, right? You still have all the rewards for the PGA winner, right? Maybe it's like getting in the majors. Maybe even like somehow, because it's only one pro, you throw in like a Masters invite if they're not already qualified for the Masters.
Yeah.
And then the scratch amateur golfer who wins gets an automatic bid into the USAM. Like, they into the tournament, not the match play, into the tournament without qualifying. I think that would bring out a lot of great amateur golfers. Like, imagine, like, all right, like, and you find out well before the U.S. amateur qualifying, right? Like, this is a qualifying way to get in. All right, I didn't make it. You can sign up for the USAM qualifier. So I think that'd be really cool. I think you would get a lot of really, really good college golfers come out for that.
Oh, you definitely would.
I think that would be who we don't see enough of, and I love watching college golf. So I think it would be like kind of cool to, do it that way. But
they should just make it like a giant member guest, and it's like you got to bring like your, somebody from your home club or something.
Yeah, let's flight it. Let's have 9-hole matches and then an alternate shot shootout where we got like 10 teams on one hole.
Yeah,
that I'm telling you right now, I would never turn it off.
No, I would definitely watch that. Yeah.
So
that'd be a ton of fun. All right. No good segue here, but more pro golf. Ryder Cup, Team USA made a big announcement over the weekend. We are officially running it back with Jim Furyk as captain for 2027 at Adair Manor. I have nothing against Jim Furyk. I actually like him, and I like watching him play.
Yeah, I love Jim.
But like, what? I don't know what we're doing. Like,
we're conceding the 2027 Ryder Cup before it even happens.
This is
what's happening.
I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like, all right, let's bring back Davis Love or Stricker, right? Like somebody that had a winner in the last whatever, Hell, I'd even be okay if they went crazy and brought back Azinger. Like,
yeah.
But like, you're bringing back a guy that captained a team that lost 17.5 to 10.5 in Paris, like, to the Road Ryder Cup. It's just like, I would have been more okay if they ran him back with Keegan, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if you've watched Full Swing yet.
I haven't.
Okay, I have. I finished it. And I will tell you, I left watching that, and this was before Jim Furyk was picked, and I was like, dude, it was like, man, if he wasn't playing as good as he is, because he's still playing pretty good, I'm like, me just watching it from a fan standpoint and how much like the guys like really, really enjoyed having him as the captain. I'm like, I left watching the last episode. I'm like, I feel like we got to put him back in there. Like, let him run it back. Like, let him go over there, piss off some fans, because like everybody knows like the whole ruckus on Saturday. It's like they're going to be pointing, their guns right at Keegan and the guys. I'm like, I don't know. I thought that's the route they might go. I was like, when you found out Tiger turned it down, and it kind of felt like no one wanted it. It's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
I thought they might run it back with Keegan. I wanted that after watching the last episode.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what they could have done to get some kind of juice, but this no offense to Jim, feels like one of the like least juicy moves they could have made. Like, yeah. It just feels so bad from the jump. But
also on that same note, like with Keegan, if you hear him talk about, losing and like, he was like, this is his exact words. He's like, I'm never going to get over this. I just have to learn how to live with this. Like, yeah. That's how much he's taking it on, like how much of a burden it is. But I also was like, damn, that's another reason we need to run it back. Like, let him go try to, get an upset on their soil.
Yeah, I also
not saying it's possible. Like, I feel like it's pretty lopsided at this point.
Yeah.
But man, it would have been nice to maybe give him another shot. But I don't know if his psyche could have handled another loss.
I think a couple things. I think it would have been better had they just gone and gotten blown out the rest of the way, like not made the charge on Sunday. I think them coming that close to like pulling like the greatest comeback ever probably makes it sting more for him, because then you can go back and you can be like, well, fuck, like if I didn't mess up Russ Henley and Scotty on the first day, like maybe we have that point, or what I mean? And then now, before, if you just get your ass beat, you're like, well, we just didn't have it. Like, we just got smoked. Like, it is what it is. But for him, and it coming down to the wire like that, the way it did, like it definitely feels a little unfinished business kind of thing.
Yeah, and I thought that's maybe what they were going to do, but I guess we'll run Jim Furyk out there for slaughter.
I think if you gave Keegan Zach Johnson's team, he would have won.
I would 100% agree with that.
Because I think you got too thin at the bottom of Keegan's squad.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and then you just had guys that are supposed to be your stable horses just weren't playing well at that point. You know what is shocking though is going back and then watching that final episode, like, and then hearing like European players talk about it. It's like one thing to be like an American. It's like, we had a chance, It is like hearing it from the European side was like, no, there was like real nerves of like, oh my God, we're blowing this.
Yeah.
Like we are going to blow this. Like, this is happening. Because it's hard to like grasp, like in the moment, like, all right, like, they're still down 5, right? But then you start seeing scores flip. But it was like a genuine, like, it was honestly, to me, going back and watching that episode, it was like, if Cantlay makes that putt, like an 8-footer off the fringe on 17 and pushes his match into 18, I think things go a lot differently.
Yeah.
But he loses his match on 17, and it was pretty much all but over at that point. And it just kind of like sucked the air out of the team. But I think that's why I wanted Keegan to get it back too. Is like, man, like, the guy almost pulled the all-time comeback, and it's like, why not? But maybe he didn't want it again. That's an outside possibility.
Yeah, it was always weird. I mean, looking back on those times, like, because he started playing so well, of course, and like had the whole controversy of picking himself, like, maybe he just career-wise didn't want to go through it again, you know? Because I'm sure that impacted him. And he got off to a pretty slow start at the beginning of this year, the end of last year. And he seems like he's gotten a little bit back, but I'm sure there was that part of it too for him where it's like, I'm still kind of in my golf quote unquote prime a little bit. Like it takes a lot to do this stuff.
And maybe he's just got the itch of like trying to qualify for the team, you know, and like as a player, like wanting to be one last go around as a player here in, you know, a year and a half.
Yeah. That's probably eating at him too, is like, you know, he famously leaving the suitcase packed and all that. And like he wasn't picked for Rome and then got close to picking himself. Like he
probably, and just for the record, I think he would have been on the team had he not been the captain.
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Like he's 100% on the team if he's not the captain or if he's not the captain. So,
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But, you know, I text you guys this when it happened is like the problem I think we're running into is Tiger and Phil chewed up and sucked up so much of the air of American golf for so long that like none of these guys you pick are gonna feel like
juice.
That.
Yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of juice behind them.
Like when you're choosing between Furyk's probably the most decorated among, like as a player among these guys, but like Sneds was the captain for the President's Cup team. Like I don't know, whatever. Like he's even like a rung below like. Your Strickers and stuff like that. Stricker didn't win a major, but he was a pretty accomplished winner.
Yeah.
Sneds won a few, and he got close in a couple majors, but not to that level. And then you got like, your Stu Sink, he's got one major. He, famously beat Tom Watson and took that story away. There's just not a lot of like primo or personalities because Tiger and Phil were also that, right?
Well, it's like, and then you start going further down the list. I know we talked about this guy the other day, like jokingly, but it's like if a major's like the bare minimum qualifying, like you have to be a major winner. It's like, dude, that brings in names like Jason Duffner. Like, think about that for a second.
Exactly. Keegan himself. And, I mean, Luke Donald never won a major, but he was also number one player in the world for a while. So, there's certain degrees to this.
Again, a proven winner. Yeah.
Yeah, and we just don't have a lot of guys because we got our ass beat for so long. We also don't have a lot of guys that are like tasted success in these events either.
No,
so it's
only the guys that were at Whistling Straits, and let's see how many guys we have left from that team. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys from that team. We're all are like 7 or 8, but like, dude, Jordan's not going to be on the next team. Like, there's no way.
No, I would doubt it.
Justin Thomas trending towards not being on the next team.
I would say JT might be our next best captain.
Honestly,
like our next good captain.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, just with like he's been on a winner. He's got like some personality.
He's got a really good record in the event. Like
he's got a really good unfortunately, that's where we're at. Like
yeah,
and honestly, Jordan, right? But it's like. Again, you don't want to get stuck in that situation where Jordan has like a career resurgence and it's like, oh, he's like 4th in qualifying and he's going to be the captain. You know what I mean? It's kind of tough.
And you got guys, like DJ's never going to be a captain, whether it's the live stuff or not. I don't think he'd ever want to do it, but he was obviously like the primo American player post Tiger. It's just tough.
We just need a post-live collapse of like Phil making it right with everybody, because I truly believe like if you're talking like a big names, he's the one guy, like he's not gonna pull a tie. Like Phil's gonna be like, oh, you're sending me overseas to be one? Fuck it, yeah, let's go. Like pack up the clubs, let's go play. Like I truly believe that, but the problem is that ever gonna get mended? Probably not, but
no. I'm at the point where I want to get weird. Like what'd be sick? Like I think I said this before. Let's make Bones the captain. Like let's get like an elite caddy.
Caddies typically see things that players don't, right?
That's what I mean. Like the guys that have been on these massive players' bags and stuff, and you've won majors and you've charted the courses.
Been in that.
You look at golf
in the event, right? Like he's been there, right?
You look at golf from a slightly different perspective, and I think that could be good for like a team, like setting up a team perspective of it.
Well, and here's my other thing too: is like even if you wanted to go like non-golf, which I'm not crazy about, but if let's just say you wanted to go non-golf, right? you have so many vice captains that are like golfers that you can get a lineup set, right? Like it's not like this guy's like the end all be all. Like a lot of vice captains have say in like the potting of the players and things like that. So
right,
even if it was a non-golfer or even caddy, right? Like it's like they're going to have enough help where it's like, hey, I want these two guys to go. Probably not the best, right? Like from an actual golfer. So yeah, I don't disagree with that. It feels like we might have to go off the reservation here soon.
Yeah, we're gonna need like a pretty epic like collection of guys playing well into next year for the conversations of who's on the team, because otherwise, just from the captaincy pick, it's going to be kind of quiet. And yeah. Man, you know how, dude, let Patrick Reed do it. Fuck it.
Again, it's kind of one of those things like, look, he got a personality. You might not like his personality. I don't particularly like it, but
no.
I mean, here's the thing though, is like, it's kind of one of those things like he's going to piss so many people off, like especially on a road one where it's like that might end up being a good thing, right? Like
he's going to be on the team next year.
He probably is.
He ruined Furyk's last captaincy, basically.
Yeah, so let's just run that whole thing back from France. Yeah. That'll be good.
Jeez. All right, from there, I think it's time to head over to the patio. Not patio weather tonight, but we're doing the indoor patio. I'm gonna go first. I think I got a little lazy with my question tonight, but I think it's worthwhile. I need to know kind of. I think the people need to know too, like what's going on with the cards. I want to talk about the putter too in a bit. Like where are we at with the cards? I think you might have gone down a bit of a rabbit hole here.
I'm steep into it.
Yeah, I thought you might be.
I bought a couple packs of cards, so I've like ripped some fresh ones, ripped some packs. I'm officially on this app called Whatnot. Okay. It's like a live video auction, like people auction off stuff. I'm heavy into that. I've not bought anything on there, but I like to go on and see what things are selling for.
Yeah,
I'm still relatively a novice at this, so like I like really good auctions. Guys will go in there before they go up and like talk about the cards, what they are. There's so many different variations, or they call them parallels to like the base card. Like, you know, you've got all these refractors and numbered cards and stuff like that. So I'm more doing that for like the education part of it. But yeah, I'm into it. I've sold some cards. I think I made like 4 or 5 trips to the post office last week. So I am selling some cards, some new, some older. I mean, Griffey's a huge seller. Anytime and I've got so many Griffey cards. It's not even funny. Like that was like the peak of my card buying stage as a kid, was like, you got a Griffey in almost every pack. And there's so many, different variations and stuff like that. So Griffeys sell really well. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out a sport that I want to like get specialized in. I love baseball cards. I feel like there's like nothing like a baseball card. It feels a little odd. Like football cards and basketball cards were not as popular when we were kids.
Yeah.
It was mostly baseball. But I'll tell you, I really like NFL cards. I've got a few basketball, like newer basketball. I did buy a pack of newer basketball ones.
Yeah, I feel like baseball cards are kind of the purest form of the card.
Yeah, it feels right. Like when I open a pack of baseball cards, and I've opened one, it feels normal, right?
Yeah.
But I've opened a pack of basketball ones. I'm like, this feels odd. Like I know the players, like I know enough about them, but it just feels odd, right? But I did get, so on my first basketball one I opened, I actually got a signature card. I'm showing it to you right here. Christian Coloco. I actually do not know who this guy is.
I don't know either.
Plays for the Lakers. But apparently he's actually with the Toronto Raptors now. But yeah, actual signature. I thought that was pretty cool, even though I don't know who the hell the guy is.
Interesting.
But my first signature card.
I'm gonna look into this Christian.
And while you're doing that, I got my first numbered card. So there's like they do like numbered up to 899, 99, up to 150, up to 200. There's a bunch of different variations. I did get my first numbered card in a football card. Tyleik Williams, big Buckeye. Love that.
There you
go.
Detroit
so that was
Lion.
pretty cool.
Yeah, Detroit Lion, last year's first round pick for them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Christian Koloko is a 6'11" center. He was born in Cameroon. He's 25 years old. He was a second round pick by the Lakers, I think. No, it says drafted by the Raptors.
Oh, so maybe he's with the Lakers. Possibly.
Oh, this card is going downhill swiftly. Here, this is where we're at. All right.
He's in the G League.
Yeah, drafted by the Raptors. Some kind of demotion in 2023 to the Raptors 905, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's the G League. Yep.
That's the G League. Then goes to the Lakers, goes to the G League of the Lakers. Then plays for the Austin Spurs, does a year with the Grizzlies, back to the Austin Spurs, and was with the Hawks this year, but he's currently in the G League again. It's a nice signature.
Not great. $1 if anybody wants it. So that's the card situation.
Yeah, the putter is what I want to talk about too.
Yeah, so we were part of this Facebook group. I don't know if you were so much.
I never got into it. I knew it was not safe for me to do it, so I didn't do it.
It got out of control during COVID. Like I think I won like 5 or 6 putters on there.
Yeah.
And honestly, they just kind of like, we're in this mode of like trying to like really clear stuff out. And
so are we.
We've got like, we're at that age with our kids where like there's some turnover that can happen of like getting rid of some bulky toys and like, so like I saw those, like I've still got a couple I want to sell. I just listed another one that I had today because I'm just like, dude, I need these out of here. Like they're just sitting down here. Like,
yeah.
The one I sold was really cool. I actually won it for free on that Facebook group. Back in, I think it was like June of 2021. It was June of 2022 because it was a 2022 model of it. So it was a Tour stability shaft, but it was green and yellow, and it had like an azalea flower on the shaft.
Yeah.
And then it was a Scotty Cameron Phantom 5.5X that had like Masters fillings, like color fillings, and it was a gold putter. It was sick, dude. But it was, again, I'm like, I'm never going to use this on the course. I'm never going to use it on the course, right? And it was like, it's just sitting down here. It literally had like what felt like an inch of dust on it because it's not even been pulled out of the bag and like fiddled with forever. So I was like, you know what? I'll list it. I think I originally put up for like $900. Realized that was not where the market was. I kind of started doing some more research and found a couple on eBay that had sold for like $650. So I'm like, all right. So I lowered it down to $650, kind of sat there for a couple of days. And then on Saturday, like I'm sitting around and a guy messages me and he's like, hey, I collect Scotty Camerons. He's like, I just bought some other putters. He's like, I don't have $650 in cash. He's like, would you take a trade? I said, well, you got the trade. I said, I'm looking for wedges. He's like, I don't have any wedges. He's like, but I do have a lab. He's like, I got a couple lab putters. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I at least know, like, if I don't like it, like I can sell it. Like lab putters are easy to sell, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, at the very minimum. So I was like, all right, can you do $250 in cash? And then I'll take the lab, like, and I told him the DF3, which is like this goofy looking one, you know, like they looks like like a spade or something? I don't know. Something like that.
I think that's when people think of lab putters, that's the one you think of. It looks like it has like the ball or the donut hole in the back of it. And
JJ Spawn, the one JJ Spawn.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I was like, so I feel like I'm like, all right, that probably puts us at like $550 or $600, about where I wanted to end up selling it. I don't know, man. I hit some putts with this thing, and I just it feels really good, but I just don't know. I just don't know if I don't know if I can subject myself to it. I just can't.
Oh God, it's so good.
I sent it in the group chat like when I was like negotiating with this guy. You were heavily against it. my partner in crime in our club events, Ryan, was like, look, we caught the brunt end of the bat on a couple of lab putters last year. And in one of our 2-man matches, like, guy had it and just lit us up. Like, just,
yeah.
And another match in our member, we just got lit up by a lab putter. And I was like, and I sent this famous video. If anybody knows who Andrew Dice Clay is, old comedian, he was in my favorite show, Entourage. And he has this famous scene where it's like, it's our turn to do the fucking. So that's what I sent. No one got it. Our boy Gun did, but I don't know. We'll see. I want to, like, before I sell it, I want to roll it on an actual green.
Sure.
Not on the course, but like just take it out on the putting green and feel it. But dude, it feels good. I didn't want it. I wanted to hit it and be like, oh no, doesn't feel right. But I hit it and I'm like, God, dude, this feels solid. Like roll, like I did some like slow-mo videos. Man, that ball rolls end over end pretty quickly. Like there's something to it.
It's a true if you can't beat them, join them situation.
It might be. It definitely. It's like reminded me of the scene from Happy Gilmore when Shooter tries to do the Happy Gilmore swing. Yeah. It's like look, if he's doing it, I'm gonna have to do it. That's kind of what this lab putter is. And then I also just listed an AI Jailbird. I bought that 2 years ago, something like that. I liked it. I just couldn't ever get over how soft the face was. It just never felt right. So that's for sale too. If anybody's looking for a Jailbird 38-inch putter.
That was such a fun time in your putter journey. That was also the same window of time where Scotty got arrested, and I photoshopped your face on his mugshot picture. It's like the Jailbird. Here he is.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I've done some exploratory things with putters over the last couple of years. There's no doubt about that. But
you just got to stick with the Stroke Lab, man. It's done you well.
It's the one putter where it's like I bought that in 2020. Dude, it just like when something just feels right. That's kind of what the Stroke Lab is. It's just kind of feels right, and I make a lot of putts with it, and I kind of want to get my club reshafted from last year that I broke. So that's also on the table, just to have something in reserves. Probably going to do that here soon, honestly. Yeah. Just because I'm like, dude, it's sitting over here. And it's just broken. It's like, I can't even do anything with it. Can't even sell it if I wanted to. It's broken. So, but yeah, that's the journey. I've probably got another putter I'm going to put up and just get this thing. We're cleaning house. Like we gotta only have a couple, like maybe one putter in reserve, and then the rest have got to go. Like
you should just sell Ryan's putter out from under him since he's never paid you for it.
Yeah, that was going to be the next point. I was like, I do have a putter. It is missing. I know who has it, so it's not really missing. But at this point, he's going to owe me like depreciation and interest. Like,
yeah.
He's had it for quite some time. I can't pull a putter out from under my partner, but I'm like, at what point do we go, like, you either buying it or not? Like, you've had like a 4-year trial with it at this point. So
yeah, I think he's still debating if he wants to keep it, 4 years has not been long enough.
And the thing that pisses me off about that putter is like, it's not even so much like it's another Scotty 5.5.
Yeah.
It's the $350 shaft that's in that putter.
Yeah.
Just knowing that one day he's going to get so angry, and he's gotten angry before, and it's going to break, and it's going to like, I'm like, all right, bud, now you do owe me for the shaft and the putter. Like I'm going to have to do it, and I will do it during a match that I'm playing with him in. Like,
that's so good. Yeah. I just wanted to, we need to get the full background on the putters because that feels more recent to me that you won that Masters putter than that. That's crazy that it's been 4 years already.
Yeah, isn't that nuts? Like,
yeah.
So hold on, I gotta find this real quick. We're going to go back to the bank. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Okay.
Am I the asshole?
Yeah, here we go.
So hold on, let me find it. I took a screenshot of it.
amongst all your card pictures and putter pictures.
All right. I can't find it, but I do have one. And this is personal, actually. So for those that don't know, we've got 2 dogs, right? We've got like a 4-year-old Bernedoodle. Doesn't really bark that much. He does in the house if someone's walking on the trail back here. But for the most part, when he's outside, dude, he's running around. We're playing Frisbee, no problems. I have a almost 14-year-old Shih Tzu Bichon mix named Shank. He's been around in our family forever. And he's health-wise, really good health, right? He's super blind. Like, he cannot see a thing.
Yeah.
Like, cannot see a thing. This absolutely happened yesterday. And it's more not so much a, am I the asshole? It's a, what would you do in this situation?
Okay.
Because I'll tell you when we get to it, I'll tell you what I've done so far. And tell me if I'm overreaching. Okay. I don't think I am. But so we're outside like all day yesterday. Dude, I'm like, I think it's been well documented at this point. Like, I had a lot of weeds. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago in my yard.
Yeah.
Finally got them all killed, but we got some bare spots. So I'm like, all day yesterday, I'm out there preparing the soil, and like, I'm actually trying to level out some of the areas. So I'm like shoveling dirt out back, like where we don't go, and like bringing it out and trying to level it out and plant seed. So we're outside all day yesterday. Both dogs are out there. Frankly, I don't remember the blind dog barking much. But yeah, we get done. We're like inside for a little bit. We go back outside to just kind of relax. He's back out there. He barks a couple times. Next thing you know, I'm cooking dinner. Wife's out back with me, and the doorbell rings. And she looks on the ring. And she's like, "There's a police officer at our door." I'm like,
all right, continue.
I'm like, what? She's like, "There's a police officer at our door." I'm like, I have actually had a police officer stop by one time. Like, there was like, they were looking for somebody that like a salesman or something that like had been like harassing people in the neighborhood, like whatever. So like my first thought was like, that's what it was. Like, there was a salesman in our neighborhood yesterday. So I'm like, oh, someone called on him and he's just asking if we'd seen him or anything. I don't go out there. She goes out there, and I kind of like, you know, like you can like, you're like seeing from a distance, like the body language. And I could tell the cop was like kind of annoyed, like why he was even there, whatever. All finishes up. Cop gets back in his car. She comes back. She goes, "Someone called the cops on our dog." Mind you, okay, this is the 3rd time in 3 years this has happened. Happens about once a year.
Okay.
Actually, one time it happened. Our mother and father-in-law were watching our kids at the house, and they put him outside, and he was barking for like 5 minutes, and they brought him back in. The cops got called that time. Vaguely have the dates for these happenings, right? Our neighbor goes, "Wasn't us." He goes, he's an attorney. He goes, "I'll run some open records requests, see what I can find out." Awesome. Like, I want that. Like,
jeez.
Give me blood. That's what I want. I'm like, I want, turns out, apparently, see, I didn't know this was a possibility, especially in a situation like this, right? Like, if it's like some domestic dispute or something like that, I can understand the like anonymous tip, right? Like,
sure,
you don't want to get like involved in it to the point where it's like, you know, dropping names and then now you're a target, whatever. But for something like this, I'm like, you're going to waste this poor cop's time coming out to the suburbs about a noise complaint over a dog. Like, I feel like you got to put your name behind that. Apparently they did not. Every single time has been anonymous. First question for you is, have I taken the correct steps so far? And number 2, who do you think it is? We've kind of ruled out one of our neighbors. The other neighbors, I don't think it was them either. Like, they've got a dog. Their dog barks more than ours. Like, kind of find it hard to believe it would be them. I'm kind of at a loss for words at this point. We do have people behind us, but there's a walk. You kind of seen it, like a walking path, some trees, and then there's people behind us. But the noise can travel over that way. I'm thinking it's someone behind us, but I'd like to know your thoughts on what I've done so far and who do we think it is?
So this is, before I answer your question, I got to tell you my own story. 2 weeks ago-ish, I'm sitting down here working from home in a meeting. Same thing. I've noticed the doorbell thing goes off. I always check it just because either my wife's grandma or my mom is here watching the boys. So I just like to see who's coming and going, whatever. Check in. I'm like, there's a cop up there. So I luckily was in a meeting with people that I was like co-working with. So it wasn't like a, whatever. So I could be like, hey, hold on, there's a cop at my door. I'd go up there. Same thing. Somebody called on our dog barking. And first, we've been here for 7+ years now. Never happened before.
Okay, so at least yours is not. We've been here 6.
First time.
This has happened now 3 times.
And our neighbors have all been here since we have been here, except for one person, but they're on the other side of the creek from us. And he's a doctor. He works weird hours. You've never
he's
seen him.
He's probably not even home. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, who would have done this? There's no way that the people that have been around us for 7 years are just now fed up with it because they've been dealing with whatever's been happening for 7 years. And so I came to the conclusion, just this year, the neighbors behind us, they're an older couple. They just started having people come cut their grass. And I think we had them out there while I was working and those people were there. And I think they do, when there's people out, they'll run cutting grass, they'll run the fence and bark at them. So we're always aware and we try to bring them in as soon as we can and all that. So I think that is what happened in my case. At least that's what I'm hoping. For your case, I would have done the same thing. I would have wanted blood too. I'm still kind of curious. I've kind of written it off. I think that's what happened, but I'm also kind of which one of these people?
Well,
just because my thing is same for you with the put your name on it. Just come talk to me. Why are we calling the police? Dude, just come be like, hey, your dog's been barking. Can you just, if I'm out here, can you get him inside? Whatever. And totally fine. I'd be like, yes, I'm so sorry. Because I'm already aware of it. Yeah. I try my best to not keep them out there.
No, and we are well aware of it too, to the point where when we let him outside, I hang by, if it's nice weather, I go out with him, right? We'll walk the yard and stuff like that. But if it's colder or raining or whatever, I let him out, but I stand by the back door. As soon as he starts barking, shoes on, out to get him. We are well aware that one, he is a very happy dog, but it's amplified by the fact that he doesn't know where he's at. He knows he's in his backyard, but he doesn't even the slightest noise. He's he starts barking, right? So we're very aware of it. I think there's 2 things to this: a work day. Regardless, come talk to me, right? Yeah. Work day, I can understand getting a little worked up about. It's you're on a Zoom call or you're on a phone call, or again, a lot of our houses are brick wrapped in our neighborhood. I'm like, dude, there's been times I've been inside the back door and barely heard them barking. So I'm like, right. If I'm in my office, I'm like, the fact that you would it would pick up on a phone call would be shocking. But I think it's even worse on a weekend.
Yeah.
Right? It's what do you have going on right this moment that is that's the straw that breaks your back and you call the cops right. On a Sunday, afternoon.
Yeah. I think to kind of who it is potentially, do you have anyone, because you're in an HOA as well, is there any HOA sticklers that you're aware of that maybe they're walking the neighborhood?
I know all of them. Hell, actually, right before the cops showed up, someone on our HOA board that we're friends with was stopped at our driveway. Yeah. And she even we were okay, and he was outside at the point. It's did you hear him barking? And she was like, I didn't hear any barking when I was in your driveway. So we know, and even the people that are old, we've got our board is made up of 3-4 younger people. We do still have one old, original owner on the HOA board. He lives 10 houses down from us. Would have never heard it, right? Even if he was walking by. But even then, it's I know him well enough that he's borrowed our power washer and stuff for the pool area. It's he would come talk to me. Hey,
right.
if he's barking a lot, even if you're outside, like put him inside for a little bit, like give him a break, like give your neighbors a break. He would come talk to me. So I'm like, I thought that at first, but I'm like, we know and even then, the one I kind of know barely or less than the other ones, he would knock on the door and be like, hey, I was walking by. It was a lot, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't call the cops. So I'm like I'm guessing that it's like one of the two houses behind us.
I think so too.
Would be rich for the first part. The one of the houses behind us, starting probably here soon when it gets pretty nice outside, music on, blaring until like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like they're empty nesters now. Like they have people over to like the craziest. And honestly, I'll be honest, like, could I call the cops on that? Yeah. But honestly, I go out and sit on my patio and listen to the music sometimes. I'm like, cool, man, I'll sit out here. It sounds like they're having fun. Like,
yeah,
I could call the cops on that if it is them, right? But to me, I'm like, you're not hurting anybody. Is the dog hurting anybody? No. Like,
right.
It seems to me what makes me most mad, and honestly, it's probably, I wish I could have gone out and talked to the cop. I'm like, this is a gigantic waste of taxpayer money. The fact that you used like the $2 in gas to drive from where you were to my house to talk about a dog barking is just asinine. First off.
And my mom had texted. So I was on the meeting, so I didn't notice until after I talked to the cop. She had texted me like probably 20 minutes before that and was like, hey, just so you know, there's a cop sitting like in the street across from the house. It's like, okay. But like, so he not only did he like come out or whatever, he was like sitting in the neighborhood for 20 minutes or whatever, just idling, like
and,
doing whatever.
He was probably thinking about, he's probably like, oh my God, I'm getting up the like courage to do something super stupid and like have to go knock on this door about
that,
or
there's been some sort of like edict in the Westchester Township Police where they're like, hey, you're going to canvass these neighborhoods and listen for barking dogs. Go pop some people.
Well, what's funny is, and I guess he had asked my wife, like, have you guys gotten ticketed for this? And we were like, no, every time a cop, well, it's funny, the first time it happened, cop shows up, know him. And he's like, oh, God. He was like, hey, I got to let you know, like, someone called about your dog. All right, cool. Like, he's inside now. Like, he was out there for like 10 minutes. We were doing stuff. We were getting ready to like go to Kings Island and was like, we were doing stuff and got sidetracked. We heard him barking, but, we were busy.
Yeah.
Second time came with my in-laws. That was like, hey, yeah, we let him inside. We heard him barking. But like this time, this guy brought up a good point. He goes, I don't know if a dog noise reaches the decibels of like actually a noise violation. Like he was like, I'm shocked. And he was like, what kind of dog is it? I'm like, dude, it's like a 15-pound Shih Tzu. And he goes, there's zero chance that like would reach a decibel of like, this is a noise violation, like a local ordinance, right? He was like, I'd be shocked if that was the case. Like, so.
Yeah, I think the guy mentioned to me about, it was more like, there's like, you have to have the dogs registered and all this stuff. So it was more like that kind of thing that he was warning me about, more so than like the noise complaint situation. But yeah, it was a massive annoyance. And I was just like, same boat as you. I was like, these motherfuckers, like, just if it really was one of my neighbors, like, just come talk to me.
Dude,
come on.
You know what? Like, I'm like, and I know this because like I talk to strangers all the time in public. Like, I have talk to me written all over me. Like, I'm probably like one of the most approachable people in the world. And it's like, just come, like, I'm not going to get mad. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, he is fucking annoying. And I try to make sure I get him right when he starts, like, I get it. Like, we deal with it in the house too. Like, he starts barking randomly in the house. Like, I get it. I understand. But like, come talk to me. Now, here's the real question. If I ever find out who did this, how does this get handled?
I'm pretty non-confrontational, so I think I probably would let it slide. However, there is a degree to which I would want to be petty as fuck. And I would be watching every single thing possible to be like, can I call on this? Can I rile something up with the HOA about this? Like, whatever. Because I just get worn out by, to me, there's just, like you said, there's so many more important things. Like, I'm very keenly aware of it too. It's not like I'm like doing this to harm somebody else. I'm just trying to let my dog go to the bathroom for a bit.
Like, it's not like you abandoned them out there for days at a time and they're
they've got water. They stay inside 80-70% of the time. Like,
yeah.
Like it's just not a big deal. So like I inherently like the people that like are those people are just not my people. So there's a level of pettiness that could arise, I think, in the situation.
So I don't want to say I'm not confrontational. I'm confrontational in the way that I would be pretty facetious about it in the fact of like in passive aggressive, right? Like,
yeah.
Like if I found out and like we're at the pool down there and they're there, like so whoever called on them, like, like, hey, turn that music down. That's louder than when my dog is barking. Like that's what I would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't want the cops called. You know?
Public shaming is a good avenue.
Or if I hear a dog barking, like they're around, like, oh, dog's barking, we better call the cops. Like,
right. That's
what I would do. My pettiness would reach to like something really stupid. Like if I found out who it was, like, and say it's the people behind us and I'm walking on the trail, like finding a way to just toss some trash in their yard. Like, you know what I mean? And then so they keep coming out and they're like, what the fuck, dude? There's trash in our yard again. And like, they'll never know. Like, never know it's me, but I'll know. And that'll make me feel good. Yeah. And then what it'll do is like, I'll do it enough till it reaches a point someone posts on our Facebook page, like, can people stop dumping their trash on the trail? And then I'm going to do it again. So, so that's the type of pettiness. I wouldn't want to waste the cops' time of like calling on something. No. That's what I would do. Like I wouldn't egg their house. Like nothing super. Like I'm not trying to like mess with their house or something, But like just throwing, like getting a couple like milk jugs, like empty milk jugs, and just like going back on the trail and just like throwing them in their yard.
That's why I'm saying I would be taking the approach of like, hey, maybe they're letting this get a little overgrown over here. I think that's an HOA violation.
That's a good way, especially because we're both in HOAs. Like, so that garden bed's looking a little weedy in there. Like, we better call.
Is that a trash can I see sitting out? It's not trash day. I'd be doing that stuff.
Exactly. So I would probably, there would be some pettiness, some / passive aggressive if it's someone I run into a lot. Definitely. But if I found out it was someone behind me, there'd be some petty shit going on. Like I'm telling you, the trash, I thought about that immediately. I'm like, if it is one of them, when they were running like the open records request, like I was like, they better be prepared to go out there and pick up garbage every day because it's going to happen every day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be progressively worse until as soon as I see the Facebook post, I might stop just to know, like, I won. They had to take time out of their day to post this on Facebook. But like, it would progressively get worse every day. I would just like, it would get to the point where I start dumping whole bags of garbage back there in their yard.
Just start chucking the dog shit over the fence.
Just so just like the pooper scooper, fill it up, walk it out my back gate, and just drop it in their yard, dude. Or just walking around and like drop it in their front yard. That's actually probably the play. It's got to be careful about Ring doorbells and stuff.
You do, yeah. Surveillance is real now. Yeah, that's a good one. That's funny that happened to you as well. I can't. Yeah, so annoying.
Like third time.
Yeah, three times a lot. The first time. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and it's funny. We kind of ruled out our other neighbors next to us. The one that I said they have a dog barking more. When they got called on my in-laws, they were out there when the cops showed up, and she kind of like was like came over after it happened and like looked at my in-laws and was like, I'm pretty sure it was our dog barking. Like she was like, I think it might have been us. Like, because she was like, and she knows our dog. She was like, yeah, Shank wasn't even out there that long. Like, I think it might have been our dog. Like,
yeah,
they had like geese like land in their backyard and that is kind of whatever and like freaked out. And it's a hunting dog. So it freaked out. She was like, I'm pretty sure they called it on our dog and thinking it was your dog. So it's like, that's how you know it's the same person.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the same person doing it every single time.
Ugh. Yeah, it's super frustrating.
Ugh.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, I would be remiss to, from our segment last week about, when was the last time your wife was right about something? I did need a follow up. Susie was indeed right about the posts and the lights. We officially got the 4x4s and the cement and the plants with the all the stuff. And we'll see with the Storms tonight. It's assuming they hold up, but they've been pretty rock solid and definitely the right way to go. I got out there yesterday. Actually, I stained and sealed them. They look really nice too. So
it's the best way to hang up lights. It really is.
Yeah, it just looks better too. It's it was a massive L all around for me. I'll just fully hand up admit it. But they look good. The patio's getting dialed, and it's I've been trying to put in the work, like in kind of this. We got this really nice April out of nowhere. It's like I want to get all this stuff done, so it's like May, June, July. Like we're enjoying it,
100%. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. So shout out to my wife. She was right, but
of course she was.
Yeah, of course she was. And that's a great way to end the episode.
Do you have any golf coming up? I've actually got a decent amount of golf coming up here.
So I played Friday night. I took Zach out for his first 9 holes of the year. He's got junior league coming up, so I wanted to get him out there a little bit, get myself out there too. Of course, the putter is in fuego to start the season. The problem is I cannot hit a fucking green. Remember I famously the Friday game round with you guys. I missed the first 10 greens. First 10 greens. And then I only hit 1 green with Zach on Friday on the white course. I shot 41, but I doubled 5 and 6 with really, really god awful tee shots. So it was, I got up and down from everywhere though. That's, so encouraging short game signs, but the iron game needs some work. I'm hoping it's more of a wind factor and just like general rust more than anything else. But yeah, I think I had 11 putts. So it was good from that perspective.
Jesus.
None of them for birdie.
Don't need this lap putter.
Yeah. None of them for birdie, but
yeah, I got out randomly. I went out to walk 9 holes and show up, and I'm helping out with their new water dispenser. And our boy Stein comes up and he's like, "Oh, are you going to go out and play?" And I'm like, "Yeah." We ended up playing 9 holes together, walking. It was very enjoyable. Yep. Both hit the ball pretty good, I felt like. So that was fun. I didn't play Friday, but I'm playing Friday this week. I think I actually got the go-ahead to play in our spring scramble at our course. Ooh. And I'm playing Sunday in a tournament up at Country Club of the North in Dayton. Shout out to the dudes over at they run a little thing called Money Pit Golf, and they've got a 3-man scramble, minimum 10 handicap. So your 3 players have to add up to 10 index.
Oh, nice.
$275 a person, and the winner gets I think $6,000 or $7,000. So should be a good time. Tees off at 9 on Sunday. So I've got a decent amount of golf coming up here.
Yeah, love to hear that. We're getting right to it. League's starting up soon, right? I got signed up Friday.
May 6th.
Oh, that's next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Shit. We're back. We're back.
We are back. And it sucks because I'm pretty sure I think I'm missing the first week of the league. So that's fun.
You guys just think, all you guys, you're doing this to me. Joe and Aaron do the same thing. They got all the baseball, softball stuff. Like it'll be like me and Ryan out there. And
well, what's funny is I thought our first game was Saturday. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to play. I don't want to miss the first game, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to play in the spring scramble. Turns out our first game isn't Saturday. It's actually Wednesday. So I'm like, damn, I was going to not play in the spring scramble, play in Wednesday night league. And yeah, so
gotcha.
Fun times.
Yeah, once I'm past this race, I'm going to get back to stacking, pick that back up and get back in the groove. I'm working on a little bit. We'll get more into it. We talk more golf next week, but working on a little bit of a swing thought or a setup thought that I'm trying to commit to, but it's hard. So more to come on golf here, I think, next week. After you play a bunch, then we got league ahead of us, so it'll be good times. All right. Here's hoping I'm here next Monday after running this 13.1 Sunday. But thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, review the show. Appreciate that. Follow us on social media at Back96Back. And until next time, cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six-Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.